Hey guys, let you guys come into the room real quick. I know it's going to take a second. Everybody's got to get their notifications and all that good stuff. So I'll kind of chill out for a minute and let everybody kind of roll into the room. It says I'm live, so I'm going to take their word for it. This is YouTube, so I'm sure they've throttled everything back that we might normally have any kind of reach that we have. What's up, guys? James in the room. How's it going, bro? So I'm gonna kind of hold up a second before everybody gets in here, before we kind of kick the show officially off. I know you guys takes a minute to stroll in here. YouTube. What's weird is, man, YouTube has a knack here recently of making sure that you guys are not getting notifications whenever I'm putting something out there. That's, I mean, par for the course for those guys, but nevertheless, kind of, I mean, really, they wouldn't rather us have some kind of a pull from people. I think they'd be more open-minded. They just, want us to be integral in bringing people into their little room and their little act, so people could be a part of it and grow their audience. But I guess that's too above them. Let's see. A little shout out to James Pellerin, Grant Jones from North Carolina. What's going on, man? Monty M is in the room. Big Mo, what's up? Shane Willis, hello. Brent, what's going on, man? Delwyn Ferguson, welcome to Friday as well. Mike C, Fat Beard. Fat Beard says, hey, I got a notification right away this time. Unusual, I don't understand it. Some people never get them. Some people get them 30 minutes late, 2 hours late. I don't understand that. I don't understand how a mail server can be that big of a delay, but I guess it is. Jarrett's in the room. Let's see, JR1888. Eugene Jensen. Audio is a little low. Guys, I'm not going to be able to do much about the audio today. It's all off of my iPad today, so I'll try to speak up a little bit. American Republic's in here. Jimmy Kimmel, I'm sure that's the real thing. Northeast Texas checking in. No, which if your name really is Jimmy Kimmel, you are the real thing, right? Let's see. New Mexico, Fat Beard. Frankie G, Jeffrey Pursuti. What's up, Jeff? Let's see, Elijah Hunter. Jeff Raspberry, can't hear you. Sorry. And I can't speak in all caps either. Sorry. This is probably as good as it's going to get today. I'm using my iPad, and quite frankly, I don't even know where the microphone is on it. Let's see, No G from Los Angeles. Wow. Gun Freaks in the room. Cheek smokes a lot. Let's see, Glenn Betts, what's up from Alabama? Crystal Harper, hey, hey. Rodney Hendrickson. Go ahead, buddy. Real quick, I want to go over a few things that we got going on. Let's see, put a video out this past week. I think we prefaced it last week talking about the fact that I would get that video out. And it's on whether or not, Evan, I don't think there's any water in there, buddy. Go in the house. You'll have to go in the house, buddy. I think the video that I talked about last week was the one that on if somebody attacks you while you're in your vehicle, and whether or not you can engage them with your firearm if for some reason they do attack you. And that video, you know, when I put it out there, I just put it out there really for informational purposes. But I won't say it blew up, but yeah, it got a bunch of views pretty fast. It is up to 8,500 views in just a couple of days, which I kind of suspected there'd be people that would be interested in it, just not so many, because I find that a lot of times when I put like a review on guns out, just a straight review on gear, that tends to get more popularity and more views and more action. Gain more interest simply because people are shopping. They're looking for things, so they're Googling what they're shopping for. In many cases, they might run across one of our videos. So this one I was a little surprised because I don't know that I have any tags in it, hashtags, other than Legally Armed America. So I haven't even hashtagged it yet because I wasn't trying to get a lot of views because YouTube automatically demonetized it within minutes of me uploading it. But it's a pretty interesting video. It's of course one that goes into the actual law. My friend Shane Hinch, who's an attorney here in Lake Charles, is the one who was kind enough to give me a little bit of guidance on it. and pull up some case law that was very helpful to me, at least to give some interesting facts and detail and history behind the law itself. So it was really interesting. In a nutshell, if you haven't seen it, it basically states in there, and again, this is strictly Louisiana law, that if you are going to engage somebody with your firearm for the purpose of self-defense, there has to be, again, a reasonable threat, and you have to feel like your life is in immediate danger, and that that person is going to seek to do, is not seeking, but is going to do you harm, and you truly believe that, so you're defending yourself with equal or more force in this case. And your goal is not necessarily to terminate the person. In some cases, it may just be to scare them off. So it was an interesting video for me because I learned a lot on it, but it kind of reinforces everything that we already know, which is use common sense. And if you truly feel threatened, you truly feel like your life is threatened, that's when you can engage that person with your firearm. I think it dispels the myth, and we hear a lot of people out there on the internet especially. I see it in comments in some of my videos. I see it on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, where people are just going to say, the heck with that. You know, if somebody comes at my car, even walks towards my car, if they touch my vehicle, I'm shooting them. You know, and a lot of times I know that's big talk. People surely aren't going to do that. I mean, that's not very responsible for a responsible gun owner. So I'd like to think that we're bigger than that. But yeah, you have to have that legitimate threat and feel like yourself or your family are legitimately threatened by this person, that they may harm your life or do you great bodily harm. So yeah, I mean, it's again, a lot of it's common sense. I mean, if most of us that are good people can combine human decency and common sense, we don't really need laws to guide us, because that's what guides us in the first place. That pretty much lays out, I mean, with the help of human decency and guidance, as a person, and gosh, my nose is itching like crazy. I think that we don't need it spelled out for us. We know, what we're supposed to do. So anyway, if you get a chance, go check the video out. Interesting video. Maybe share it with some friends and family that might be on the road this weekend. That was my biggest thing. I have a lot of friends and a lot of viewers that have reached out to me over the last few weeks and months, talking about, hey, what if this happens to me while I'm on the road, or something like that. So hopefully it does help some people and put their mind at ease a little bit. Let's see. We've got, I got something really cool to share with you guys. It's not beer, by the way, but if you have one, drink one. We hit a couple of weeks ago, let's see, 200,000 subscribers right here on YouTube. And, I might have mentioned this last week, but at first I was like, when we were getting close to 200,000, I was like, we need to go ahead and have some kind of a contest to bump those numbers over 200,000. Well, when you get to that rate of subscribers, the numbers climb pretty fast already. So I was like, you know what, that sounds kind of selfish. Let me do this. Let me just have a giveaway and a contest after we hit 200,000 as a way of thanking everybody who have, subscribed over the years. So I got with, if you guys have followed my videos for a while, you know that I have a pretty solid relationship with Wyndham Weaponry. They make AR-15s. I did a gun bully segment with them several years ago and just really befriended the company and became very close friends with the president, the owner, and many of the people who work there. I've been to their facility in Wyndham, Maine. I mean, just very good people. Long story short, we have partnered up and we are going to do a giveaway of, I'm trying to find the logo. We're going to do a giveaway of an AR-15 style pistol in 9mm. So a PCC pistol on the AR-15 platform is what we're going to do. So it's going to be really, really cool. They're going to build it. Actually, they built it today, and they're supposed to be sending me some pictures, so I can post those pictures to show you the actual gun itself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run a review on that particular gun, and then we're going to give the gun away. So let's see. Gosh, where is that thing at? I don't know if you can see it. Here is one of them. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to put it up to the camera and see if you can make this out. Let's see. There we go. That's pretty much what it's going to look like, minus the blue trigger. I don't think this one will have a blue trigger. I think we already did that. The blue trigger campaign that we did a couple of years ago was for autism awareness, and I think we ran out of those pretty fast. So what we're going to be doing is giving away an AR-15 pistol in 9mm that is going to have that logo laser engraved on the mag well. So that's going to be pretty cool. Again, it's going to be a pistol in 9mm. Not sure what brace they put on theirs. Hopefully it's the SB Tactical brace. What I might do is I may get with Alex over at SB Tactical, and if it doesn't come with a SB Tactical brace, I may put one on there because I would like to support Alex and those guys, and we'll talk about braces here in a minute. But it's gonna be a cool video. Yeah, the video is gonna accompany, of course. It's gonna be a cool giveaway because we're gonna include some other stuff, some magazines from some other companies, probably a bag. We got a couple of different things we're gonna do, so it won't just be the gun. So if you enter the contest, you're gonna have a chance to win 5 to 10 different things. I'm still getting some stuff in, and I'm hoping to have that giveaway kind of July 4th, Independence Day weekend. If that makes it too tight where we don't have enough time to let enough people enter, then I might push it back a week. But I'm really shooting for Independence Day weekend. That way we have a cool festive environment. We get to celebrate our nation's birthday while also giving some pretty cool stuff away, supporting the Second Amendment. So that's my goal at this point. Let's see. Speaking of SB Tactical, some of you guys may have heard, and you may have heard wrong in some cases, where there's been some different news that came out this week about braces, like the SIG braces and the SB Tactical braces. And the word was out that there was a secret letter that was out that the ATF was putting out, that they were trying to go after banning the braces again. That is not the case. There might be some correspondence going on behind the scenes, but they can't. There's a law out there, and I forget what it's called. I've got it. I'm doing a video on it, I guess is my point. Tomorrow I'll have the video out explaining all of this. But in a nutshell, you remember the period where the public gets to give its comments on things? Even right before the bump stock ban took place, the public was allowed to give their opinions. Well, that is a law. That's not the ATF being nice. That's not the ATF saying, hey, we want to hear what you have to say. The ATF doesn't want to hear what we have to say. The ATF does that because they have to, by law, before any ruling or any change or new rule that they put in place, a modification of a rule, before they do anything, they have to present that to the public, get the opinions of the public for a certain amount of days, and then they can make their own ruling on it. They've not done that with braces. So braces are no more a threat of being done away with than anything else that we might be worried about at this point. So until we actually see the ATF requesting opinions from the general public on braces, nothing is happening. Again, they can talk about it all they want, but nothing is legitimately happening behind the scenes. Now, I think it was Congressman Gates. He might have gotten wind, because he was part of this, he may have gotten wind of some discussion behind the scenes, and he started doing some digging and realized the infringement of the ATF and what the ATF has always been trying to do as far as infringing on the Second Amendment. Now, he got upset about that. If nothing else, it's nice to see that our congressmen now are at least becoming more aware of the overstepping of the ATF when it comes to us. So that's the good thing that came out of that story, if you will. When it came out, I was like, well, I know this isn't true, but at the same time, it's nice to see that a congressman actually is listening for a change and not happy with it. Most congressmen that even know how the ATF operates either don't care or they support what the ATF is doing. So it's nice to see that somebody in Congress, and my guess is it's probably an election year for him, typical politician, and I can't confirm that, but it probably is. So now all of a sudden he cares about the Constitution, which is a beautiful thing. I mean, that's what they're supposed to be doing anyway. So hopefully that is the case, and that's happening. I'm going to do a little bit more research tonight and tomorrow morning, and hopefully I'll have a video out to you guys tomorrow going in detail about this law that the ATF has to follow anytime they want to make a modification or anything like that, the steps that they have to take in order to do that. They can't just implement any kind of new rule that they want to. So that's my son, by the way. The cool thing is the ATF, Evan, hush. The ATF has, there are people, believe it or not, that are on our side. The ATF is not made up of all anti-Second Amendment people. There are some pro-Second Amendment people that work there. Now, obviously, not a bunch of them. And even though Trump is not pro-Second Amendment, I don't think he's anti-Second Amendment. He's clearly not pro-Second Amendment. So again, I'm not taking up for the guy. But I don't think he's against the Second Amendment. I just don't think he knows anything about guns. And he's just getting bad advice from people. So the thing is, Trump has not been able to put a true ATF director in there that he wants. I don't know, maybe we'd be sitting with just as bad a person if Trump did appoint somebody. I don't know, because he hasn't been allowed to. Maybe if he were allowed to, then we could figure out what kind of guy he really is based on the type of person he would put in that director role at the ATF. But nevertheless, the problem that we have going on our 4th year now is we have Obama holdovers in the ATF, and Obama had 8 years to jam-pack the ATF with nothing but anti-gun people. So that's the problem that we have. It ain't one big happy family in the ATF right now. I can promise you that. So keep this in mind that we've definitely got issues as far as that goes. With the ATF is kind of in turmoil right now, and the wrong people are the ones that are more in control. So yeah, not cool, man. It's just some crazy stuff out there. Let's see. Adam Bird says, my first AR was a Wyndham AR-10. I did lots and lots of research, but through your videos, I just fell in love with Wyndham weaponry. How do you enter the contest? Love your videos. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that, buddy. The way to enter the videos is we're going to have what's called a widget, and the widget will be up on our website at legallyarmedamerica.com, and I'll notify you guys. I'll put a video out promoting the whole giveaway, so you won't miss it. I mean, if you're a subscriber on YouTube, you're going to get notification of it. So what I'll do is I'll put a video out, and there'll be a widget where you can go to our website, click on the widget, and it's pretty cool. You'll have a way to just enter the contest normally, but you'll get additional entries if you want to. You can go in there and refer a friend. You can like our Facebook page. You can like our Instagram page. You can subscribe to YouTube. There's going to be a multitude of ways that you'll be able to go in there and actually enter the contest and get additional entries into the contest. So good luck to everybody out there, by the way. But yeah, hopefully I'll have that video out tomorrow. And again, thanks, Adam. I appreciate that. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have that video out. I really want to get it out because a lot of people have been forwarding around the different information about this secret letter that exists. And it may very well could be a secret letter, but I have talked to some people at very high levels who have lobbyists in Washington, D.C. that work directly with the ATF on the specific issue of braces. And they said that there is today, nothing is any different today regarding braces than it was a month ago, 6 months ago. Now, make no mistake, as a unit, the ATF hates braces. The ATF wants to outlaw braces. There's no doubt. We remember the fiasco and confusion of braces a few years ago where they were first said, oh, you can't shoulder a brace, then you can, then you can't. Now you can shoulder a brace again. They've changed their mind a bunch of times. One of the things that is kind of hurting them right now, the ATF, and it's in terms of how they are misusing their own information and I guess outright lying. They're liable to get sued in some cases. Is I think there was a particular case, and there might have been more than one, but where a criminal used a legal AR pistol with an SP tactical brace on it in the commission of a crime, okay? And I don't know if they used it during the crime or if it was on them when they got busted, maybe in the car. I don't know the details of the crime, but I know that there was a court case out there that happened. And what happened was they caught them with it, and in the court system, the ATF tried to intervene and be experts and say that that was an SBR. Even though it was an AR pistol and it had the tactical or the brace on it, and they were saying, well, it wasn't stamped. You didn't have your $200 stamp. And, you know, I hate taking the side of a criminal, But when a criminal's right, they're right. I don't care. I mean, I support anyone who follows the law. And this criminal may have had a crime that he committed, but it wasn't an additional crime by having an AR pistol with an SP tactical brace on it. You can't just go into a court system because you feel like it, because you're trying to trump up additional charges to pile on top of somebody who's already been arrested for whatever reason. You can't just say that your opinion suddenly changed and the rule that applies to 99% of America now doesn't apply to this guy in the same country, in the same court system. It doesn't work like that. We have one law and it applies to everybody the same way all the time. So that has kind of gotten the ATF in a little bit of trouble because they're trying to stroll into these court cases and be experts, quote unquote, and they're making the wrong determinations and they're passing bad information on. And the courts are calling them on that. The courts are like, no, that's not an SBR. That's an AR pistol with simply an SP tactical brace on it. No law's broken there. So they're throwing this stuff out of court. So the ATF is just, they're not right. I mean, they need to go away. They honestly need to go away. You see people having the defund the ATF. I wish somebody would put a shirt out with defund the ATF because they need to. We don't need that. We need to get rid of that organization altogether. They just make horrible rules. They follow rogue presidents. Here we are almost 4 years into Donald Trump's presidency and Obama's people are still in charge of it. You know what I mean? I mean, how crazy is that? So anyway, I just want to make sure that I put that video out, and I don't want people to go out panicking. I hope they continue to buy SP tactical braces. So if you want to panic buy, go buy braces. That's great. It's good for the industry, but it's not necessary because they're not going anywhere anytime soon. So guys, if you will, shoot me some questions real quick. Let's go over some of your stuff. I'm going to go eat some food here in a minute. So I'm gonna getting out of here pretty quick. Hey, Evan, can you go over there, buddy? Let's see. Casper Fast says, thoughts on the VR80 since you've had it a while. I like it. It's cool. I haven't shot it in a while. The only thing I can say about the VR80 that I'm not a big fan of really is the length of it, the overall length of it. It's got that little faux suppressor. Evan, buddy. That extends the length of the shotgun quite a bit longer. That's probably the only thing, because I don't see this as being like a room clearer, like something you would use in your house. I don't feel that it's the right shotgun for home defense for that reason. So, and obviously it's not a truck gun because it's so long. So that's the downside to it. To me, I always look at shotguns for the most part as being the type of weapon that I would grab in the middle of the night or something. And that's just one that I feel like it's a little bit too lengthy if you're trying to go through a door or something like that. Richard Portella says, Paul, has it been safe in your area? It's been safe around here, and we got no issues. I've had no issues whatsoever, not seeing any. The South has always been a pretty good place to live in. I don't care what race you're in. We kind of get along, and if somebody gets out of line, regardless of what color they are, somebody's going to kick them back in line. So we're fortunate enough to where it doesn't get crazy down here. I love this area. I love South Louisiana. I was born and raised here, and I'll die here. I'll absolutely love this area. Evan, nobody. So we won't be going anywhere. This is a good place to live. I feel like it's very safe, easy way to get around, and it's not so crowded that everybody's on top of each other. Yeah, much love to everybody in the chat. Robert Kroger says, I say the same thing. Everybody needs to stay safe. Definitely not. I feel for the people in those areas, man, that like the Atlantas, especially the ones where the cops are being totally disrespected and, pretty much walking off the job. I hear all the time the stuff about the bootlicking and all that kind of stuff, about the cops and good, whatever. Look, again, living in South Louisiana, we don't have a lot of problems down here. criminally or with the cops. And I have a lot of law enforcement friends down here. Now, obviously, I may not see a bad side of a cop down here in South Louisiana because I'm not breaking the law. I feel like I don't dare cops to do things. I don't sell or do drugs. I don't do illegal things. So my interaction with law enforcement is usually just running into them at a grocery store or something like that. So, I think my actions tend to keep me in their good graces, if you will. But at the same time, maybe I wouldn't see the bad side of a cop if he was a friend of mine, because obviously he's not going to act like that around me. But at the same time, man, we know there's bad cops out there. I'm in the contracting business. There's bad contractors out there. There's contractors that go to jail every year for scamming people. There's bad school teachers out there. My son is a special needs child. My son was physically abused when he was 4 years old by a special needs teacher. That's a piece of garbage right there. I mean, you can't be more of a piece of shit than somebody that would do harm to a 4-year-old special needs child. So does that mean that I think all teachers are garbage? No, absolutely not. I know there's a lot of good teachers out there. So for me to paint every single teacher with the same broad brush and negative thoughts that I have towards her to every single teacher out there, it's just totally unfair. And if you do it to cops, you're just as stupid. So yeah, every walk of life has its garbage, and every walk of life has good people. I firmly and truly believe that. Hey, even in our own prison systems, there's good people and there's bad people. Somebody was just caught at the wrong time and did something stupid. Maybe got caught up in drugs, alcohol, or whatever. Different type of situation. Some people should not be in jail who's in jail. It doesn't mean everybody in jail is a piece of garbage. So I think more highly of probably most of the people that are in prison than I do of the piece of shit teacher that abused my son. I think most of the people in prison wouldn't have abused my son. So, I think it's really, it's unfair, and it's hard for people to generalize and categorize and put people into one little small bubble when they don't belong in there. And I think that's well, not I think, that is a definition of prejudice whenever you judge the entire group by the actions of one or two people. So, yeah, for everybody that says, oh, you support law enforcement because you're a bootlicker, I won't say what I'm thinking because I try not to cuss on my live streams. But you can believe whatever you want. I will always support law enforcement as long as they treat me with respect. And I do, look, good law enforcement officers, they don't like the bad law enforcement officers any more than you and I do. So that's a good thing. Maybe they're going to purge themselves of some of that stuff. But as far as abusing them, shooting them, beating them, throwing rocks at them, just because of who they are, if you target a law enforcement officer and throw something at him, say something to him, shoot him, just because he's wearing a badge, you are no different than anybody who would kill a black person because of the color of their skin. You are just as prejudiced and just as twisted and evil as any racist would be. So, and I'll stand before anyone and tell them that. I don't care what color you are. If you treat law enforcement badly or poorly just because they're law enforcement, because you're angry about what happened to George Floyd, you are just as much a piece of garbage than a Klansman wearing a hood hanging a black man simply because he's a black man. Your mind is doing the exact same thing. So, and I'll stand firm with that. I will debate anybody with that. I don't care if somebody thinks it's going to get me in trouble. I know that's the truth. I can read definitions in a dictionary, and you by definition of the word bigot and prejudice are doing the exact same thing racist people are doing. So anyway, guys, I think I'm going to run out of here. It's 7:30. I know that's a short one, and I know we've been doing some short ones, but I'd rather do some short live streams with you guys than not be able to do one at all, because I still have so much work to do around here. I'm just trying to get everything done. And I'm a few weeks away and I'll be completely finished out here. And, when I do more of my live streams, I'll have a better mic next time. This was just me running out here. My wife was late getting home from the grocery store, so I was trying to feed me and the boy. So I would just grab my stuff and took off outside. So as you can see, it's a beautiful weekend right now. If you guys get out, go out, have a good time. I will tell you, don't freak out about the, quote, spike in coronavirus. And I'll tell you this as commonly as I think. I still think the whole thing is completely overblown. I do think that it's a virus. I do think it's contagious, and I do think you can get sick from it. I do not think it's as deadly as most people think. The spike that I feel like is out there right now is a result of riots and protests and some of the opening of the country in larger numbers, but it's mostly because people don't respect other people's safe places, safe distances. I shouldn't have to teach somebody that staying 6 feet away from me is important. That's called personal space. I don't get in your personal space, don't get into mine. I'm not wearing a mask because if you stay 6 feet away from me, like I would like for you to do, whether there's a virus or not, then we're good, we're safe. So as long as we can do common decency things, it's funny how the common decency applies across so many things without having to have an actual rule or law involved. If you just practice a little bit of common decency and some human decency, it's funny how things kind of take care of themselves. So yeah, if you go out, just, still wash your hands, use your hand sanitizer. Yes, there's more people that are catching this disease, this virus. More people are getting it, but very few people, if anybody, are dying from it. The numbers were already inflated to begin with to include people who were not dying from coronavirus. They had other pre-existing conditions. And oddly enough, we're seeing these record spikes in all of these places, but nobody's dying. So it seems to me that, as long as the mortality rate is 0.0002 or whatever it is, I'll take my chances with it just like I will a cold or a flu. Now, if you have pre-existing conditions and you're in poor condition, if you're very, very old, look, again, treat it like the cold or the flu. Do the same thing you would do if you're old, diabetes, or whatever, in bad health, low white blood cell count, whatever. You wouldn't subject yourself to getting the flu if the flu is around. You don't want to get the cold. So just simply avoid those situations. If you're afraid that there's more people that have it out there, stay home. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to call you a coward for that. You're smart for doing that. But to try to force me, a perfectly healthy person who is probably extremely low risk of not only catching but getting sick or for sure dying of coronavirus, to try to force me to stay home is really stupid. It's overreaching, and it's not going to happen. I mean, you'll have to lock me up. So again, let's just be smart. I'm not telling you to stay home. I'm not telling you to go out. I'm not telling you to wear a mask. I'm not telling you not to wear a mask. What I'm telling you is be smart about it. Depending on what your scenario, your situation, your family situation, your loved one situation, the people you come in direct contact with, take all that into consideration and operate accordingly. This is America. We're free. We're free to do whatever we want. Don't let anybody belittle you if you're being overly cautious because you have a condition to do it. But if you are perfectly healthy and you're running around with a mask and you're afraid to get around anybody and you stay secluded and don't get within miles of anybody else, yes, I think you're overreacting. But yeah, again, if you have the conditions that make you more susceptible, please be safe, guys. I really look forward to you guys being on here. I enjoy the live stream. That's why I want to try to bang out the little short ones when I can. It's better than nothing, so I appreciate you all. And I'm going to go finish off this beer and probably a couple more and get a little bit more work done out here in the yard. Thanks, guys, for joining me. I look forward to it. Hopefully, I'll see you again next Friday night. And as always, guys, shoot straight, be safe. And, I'll try to say in a lot of my videos, never be afraid to be the safest person in the room and the deadliest. I mean that. Get your training in, get a little bit of practice in, get some trigger time in, get a little bit sharper with your weapon, a little bit more muscle memory. But at the same time, don't be afraid to be the safest person in the room as far as, that weapon only needs to be used whenever you absolutely need it. So let's be safe and responsible guys out there, and let's teach somebody else that may not have that ability to learn guns and whatnot. Let's pass that gift on to them of being a responsible gun owner. We'll see you guys next week. Have a safe weekend, guys.